This episode is brought to you by the Deeper Christian Life Network. The Deeper Christian Life Network is an online network designed for mentoring and connection among those who want to deepen their spiritual walk. The network includes exclusive masterclasses that you can take at your own pace and much more. The masterclasses are conference messages based on themes and or letters in the New Testament that cannot be accessed anywhere else. The network opens up for registration periodically throughout the year. Go to thedeeperchristianlife.com and check out samples and join the wait list if you're interested. Well, welcome, boys and girls, fun seekers, to another edition of the Christ is All podcast. And today, the title of this episode is called It Smells Like God's Spirit. In the early 1990s, Nirvana, a band I never got into, released their song, Smells Like Teen Spirit. History buffs say that it was the musical equivalent to the Kennedy assassination. That is, people remembered where they were when they first heard the song. It was that transcendent. I was a school teacher in those days, and the song was everywhere, even years after its release. After what took place in July of 2017 in Orlando, Florida, and I'm speaking of the conference that was held there entitled Everlasting Domain, Restoring the Kingdom Message, which was an early supplement to the book Insurgents, Reclaiming the Gospel of the Kingdom that would debut a year later. But after what took place during that conference, I realized that something was in the air. Something significant was afoot, and it smells like God's Spirit. Let me riff on one aspect of it. Today's political atmosphere is so radioactive that countless Christians are dividing from one another over politics, and they have been over the past several years. How can this be? It is because they are engaging the dialogue through the same matrix that the world employs. All those political smackdowns that Christians engage in every day on Facebook and Twitter reflects a complete misunderstanding of what the kingdom of God is. It also underscores that so many believers have lost sight of the gospel that was preached in the first century, what Jesus called the gospel of the kingdom. Don't make the mistake of confusing the kingdom with the conservative right. The gospel of the kingdom will make the conservative right livid. Don't confuse the kingdom with the progressive left. The gospel of the kingdom will make the progressive left furious. And I have said these things over and over and over again, and yet it is so difficult to break through because the prevailing cultural paradigms when it comes to politics and theology are so entrenched and cemented that people naturally filter the most radical message, the most powerful message, through the grid of their own political or theological understanding. Don't confuse the kingdom with the libertarian movement, the Tea Party, Black Lives Matter, Blue Lives Matter, Occupy Wall Street, the Green Party, Trumpism, Obamaism, Clintonism, communism, socialism, capitalism, Bidenism, or any other political movement. At the center of God's kingdom is the absolute lordship of Jesus Christ, who still happens to be alive and active. Yet Christ's lordship is not only at the center, it's at the circumference and in the margins. And the outstandingly and unmistakable, meaning you can't miss it, message of the kingdom is that Jesus of Nazareth is the rightful king and Lord of the world. That's easy to say. That's easy to confess. That's easy to proclaim. But his lordship has disturbing implications, which, when submitted to, force us all out of our comfort zones and political categories. Submitting to Jesus and his kingdom is not the same as giving yourself to a political cause, no matter how noble, good, or just that cause may be. The kingdom of God and its blistering message is completely other than any political party or movement of this world. And it is the kingdom, not any political movement, ideology, or party, that demands your total allegiance as well as your passion. And so it does mine as well. Have you ever noticed that Jesus did not fit into the prevailing categories of his day? Have you ever noticed that when he was asked a question or was given two options, his answer came from a completely different plane? He refused to use the world's matrix, including that of the religious world. This is a mark of the kingdom. It's also a mark of the king. The Lord thinks on completely different levels than the world does. Many believers are beginning to wake up to this reality. They are recognizing that the kingdom of God and its remarkable gospel transcends both the political left and the political right, the conservatives and the progressives. So they no longer identify with those categories, nor do they discuss the issues of the day using the same matrix and the same language and the same content that the world does. They have transcended. Just like Jesus, their responses are coming from an entirely different plane. And it smells like God's Spirit. Hey guys, this is a postscript just before you head out and we part ways. I have created a bundle of free resources. This would include my other podcasts, the YouTube channel, several free ebooks, free seminars, and other free resources. And you can find all of that at frankviola.com. And if you go to frankviola.com, you will see in the top menu a link that says free stuff. You just click on that and you will be taken to the free resources page. Also, a number of you have asked if you could donate to help defray the costs of the podcasts and also to express appreciation for the value that you've been receiving. You're under no obligation to donate. I don't ask for donations, but should you have it on your heart to do so, you can go to frankviola.us. That's frankviola.us, and that will take you to a donate page. There's 3 different options you can use to donate, all of them simple. Thank you very much, and God bless.